Hello everyone, this is Amanda, the Emotional Strength Trainer. Welcome to your morning stretches for this week, even though it is Tuesday afternoon, 2:45 p.m, just before school pickup time here in southeast Queensland. So I am going to be talking to you today about lower back pain. A pattern alert was sent out by me this morning on my personal page, as well as this page, to ask if you are one of the unlucky folk who have low back pain at the moment. And that is anything from a twingy, tweaky, that feels sore, all the way through to having to lie down and not move and take massive painkillers because the pain is that bad. There's some energetic stuff going on at the moment, and it's when one of these pattern things shows up, that's when I'm able to sit there and go, you know what, I think there's something going on here. So I go and investigate and join some dots for you. So one of the things that I will ask you to do, if you're watching here live, say hello and let me know you're here. Also grab yourself some water, because what I'm essentially going to do is turn the energy on, and I'm going to use my resources here to give you some key words that may help you to understand why your lower back is showing up as a problem for you at the moment. So when I did the pattern alert post on my personal page, one of the things that a lot of people were saying was, yes, my back is sore and it hasn't been sore for a long time, or this is really unusual for me. I don't get this kind of pain. A friend of mine last Friday, I think it was, or Saturday, she was getting ready to go away on her first holiday in so many months, well over a year, and her back went. And it was like one of those things for me. That was the first one that I noticed. And then my back started to twinge as well. And then I thought, oh, is it hormonal? Is this why it's showing up? Because it's just, it's just part of the thing. But then all these other ones started to come up. And I'm like, and I got an email this morning from a client that said, can you recommend a chiropractor? This is what's going on with my husband. And I'm like, right, there's a pattern. We need to go and have a look at what these things are and how we can get across them when they show up. Okay, so first of all, if you know what part of your back is sore, so you are a chiropractic patient and you can go and you have an adjustment and they'll say your lumbar spine is playing up, or your sacrum or coccyx is playing up, or in the case of my friend, it was her sacroiliac joint, then leave that in the comments, because I will be able to give, when I come back to answer the comments or questions at the end of me doing today's session, I'll be able to give you some keywords about what those different vertebrae mean as well. So as you know, I use The Secret Language of Your Body. This one, Heal Your Body by Louise Hay, and then another one that I use is The Barometer. The Body is the Barometer of the Soul. Together with understanding a little bit about astrology. Now, I do not even begin to suggest that I know anything about astrology, but I do go and listen to different astrologers to see what might be going on that can help from the emotional perspective, because I look for the key words that link to an emotion. Now, before I get into any of this, the disclaimers. If you have bad back pain and it's debilitating, then you will need to seek attention from somebody. So whether that is your general practitioner or a chiropractor, this is not to be substituted in any way, shape or form for any mainstream health options that you may have at your disposal. What I'm giving you this information for is based on my foundation teaching, which is called The Anatomy of Awareness. And it's understanding that trauma gets stuck in the cells in the body, and then they come out to play when triggers become part of everyday life. at the moment, we have a number of things in astrology. There's a lot of planets in retrograde. If you think about, so if you don't believe in any of that and you want to look at the belief systems or what's happening globally, there's enough mank or shitfuckery, if you want, going on around the world to help to explain the quantity of burden that is being put on people from an economy point of view, from a health point of view, from all of these leaders around the world that are trying to keep their jobs or double down on their need to be right, and how much it's affecting other people. Like this morning, I saw an article that said that Brazil had lost 600,000 people to the pandemic, and that the head of the government there was doing everything to stay in power, but there's a giant chunk of people who don't like the attitude he took and the fact that 600,000 people have died. So there's an example of, a large quantity of humanity being cranky at someone. Now, if you think that that's actually going on in a lot of parts of the world, that the humanity is in this big shifting era, the burden on the body, and then what I'm going to read to you about what the key words are associated to this lower part of your back, then perhaps that will make sense for you. So there's a couple of areas in this book. So just same thing, if you have had low back pain at all, let me know in the comments and we'll go from there. All right, so overall, I'm just going to the area in the book that covers the back. The lower back, so these are the key words associated to what it means to have issues with your lower back. Feeling insecure about how you will support yourself financially, constant worry about your survival and how you're going to pay the bills, holding on to unresolved anger from childhood, feeling like a victim, struggling, suffering, controlling, focused on limitations and negativity, and why you can't do things instead of how you can. Okay, so think of those, and especially that sentence, focused on negativity and why you can't do things instead of how you can. Now, this is what I learned about the astrology of the moment. There is a lot of Venus in play. Now, I don't pretend at all to know what this means, but one of the things that I know with these people that I follow is every time they talk about these planetary influences and then tell me what the emotions are associated, it's always bang on. Okay, so when I was listening to this chap today, he just kept talking about Venus being a big player. And this is the question that he asked. So this is what I want you to ask yourself. If you have something in your world that's causing you no amounts of pain in this lower part of your back, which is associated to support, and the fact that there is focusing on negativity and limitations and why you can't do things instead of why you can. Okay, we have a lot of issues at the moment with restrictions across the globe. There are restrictions with many different things, and it's been going on for 18 months or more. So this is the question. Where are you afraid to feel better in your life? That is the foundation of what I believe to be the main catalyst to answer within yourself, because we're on this massive shift, because we're on this trajectory of this new era and how we're supposed to be living and the things that we're going through that are making us decide. I have another question for you. When you're in that much pain, which is why I've given my description of today's video, why I've called it that. If you're in that much pain, have you ever begged or made a deal with God that if they would just stop the pain, that you would do something, or you would be able to make different choices for yourself, that sort of thing? Because that's what is showing up here. Your body, if you are someone suffering with this pain, it's taking you to a place where everything else doesn't matter, because you're in that much pain, and then you sit there and you make some decisions for yourself. And that's what you need to be able to get you to act. That's how I see it when there's extreme pain brought into any situation. It's probably the one thing that will stop somebody in their tracks and make them think about what they want to do and the changes they want to make. There's no accidents or coincidences that the police will use a police dog to get somebody to stop behaving badly, because the fear of the pain of a dog bite or a dog savaging them will be enough to stop somebody in their tracks. Okay, so I'm just going into the book again now and having a look at to see if I can find anything associated to back pain. I was just there is a section that covers the whole spine, and I'll go and find that now. All right, so the lower back, I'll just read out the top parts, like the first two sentences or so of each one of the lumbar discs. So the L1, it's feeling poisoned by resentment, stagnation, and unresolved issues from the past. Words and thoughts don't align with your actions. Feeling like there is little or no choice, a sense of giving up, is the L2. Feeling either a lack of desire or too much desire with no outlet, and unresolved issues being swept under the carpet for the L3. L4 is a sense of disempowerment with work and family, and pressure to have enough money and to provide for others. So that can often be the case if you're the breadwinner in the home and things are not going as well as planned, that sort of thing. The L4 is going to be impacted. The L5 is feeling weak, confused, weighed down, as if someone is holding you back and you're unable to move forward. So they're just quick statements. There's a lot more information associated to those two parts of, or those 5 parts of the body. But when it comes down to that question to ask yourself, where are you afraid to feel better in your life? These are the things that are being shown to us right now. These are your opportunities about being able to have joy in your life, following your dreams, knowing who you are, knowing what makes you tick, knowing without disclaimers and without ever coming up with, giving people excuses to justify why you have needs, wants and desires, those kind of things. This is an era where people pleasers may have their back issues showing up because they need support from somebody else, or that lack of support for self when you keep putting everybody else in front of you and not choosing yourself. How does your body make you choose yourself? Bang, gives you so much pain that you can't move, and you have to look after yourself. You have to make choices in your world about what you're going to eat. Like inflammatory foods can play a part. Anywhere there's inflammation, inflammatory foods can play a part. Inflammatory thoughts can play a part. Okay, so as you know, being a trio of health advocate, one of the best things to do with lower back pain is to see a qualified chiropractor. And of course, they know how to deal with people who are in extreme quantities of pain. And again, if you're not interested in investigating chiropractic, especially a chiropractor that does neuroemotional technique, as well as nutritional work to understand what foods might be inflaming the situation. There's another therapy out now called spinal flow. A friend of mine down in Mount Tamborine is a therapist that does that, and everything that I see her post is about how great that therapy is, and it's clearly gentle. When I've seen videos about it, nobody seems to be hurt, but it also talks about things getting blocked into your body, and spinal flow is a therapy that can release it. The other thing to obviously do is come and join my Tarot Tune-Up group, and or until the end of the year, you can come and join my emotional as fuck group, emotional AF, and we do a weekly energy healing. And this week's energy healings for the new moon, that was today actually, about 3 hours ago, specialized, the whole session talked about this topic. So those sessions are available if you would be interested in coming and joining, or if you would just like to get them as a one-off, let me know and I'll send you a link. Alrighty, so that's it. There's a couple of questions to ask yourself there. Again, if you've got a sore back and you want to get rid of it, then making sure also that you have plenty of water in your body, that you are very hydrated. This is one of the things as well, but also do that emotional work. Okay, enjoy the information. I hope that's helped. I look forward to seeing any comments or questions in my feed later. Okay, bye for now.